Good morning. Hopefully you're doing really well. So, background information. We're heading obviously to Winspit Quarry, and I'm really excited because it's one that I've wanted to do off my bucket list for a long time now. I got up especially early, so currently it is 6:30 in the morning, and it took me about 3 hours, no, it took me a little bit less than that, about 2 hours 45 minutes to get here. And it's so worth it. And the strange thing about it is, I was down this way when I was a child because we've actually got photos of us going to Corfe Castle, which isn't too far away. But today it's my own little adventure. We're off to Winspit Quarry. And oh, what a beautiful morning today. It's deadly quiet. The car park had just a couple of cars in it. As you can imagine, lots of campers, and I've seen a few cyclists as well. And I don't blame them when it's this gorgeous and this beautiful early on in the morning. As you can tell, the sun is just behind me. See, we're about halfway there on our walk, but come with me, enjoy the history lesson, but just enjoy Winspit Quarry more importantly. I'm so excited to do this one, so see you on the other side. Come on then. Sometimes you get rare places which encompass not only history but the wonder of nature and its coastline. So much so that you could easily forget the past and just simply be swept away by the sheer beauty of a location, knowing that the moment you stop to sit down and admire the view, that for that brief moment you could easily forget almost everything around you and become immersed in the sound of the waves and the calling of the birds. And with this, there is no greater example than Winspit Quarry. Situated on the Dorset coast, it's hard to believe that at one point in time this would have been a thriving hub for industry of quarrying, when in the 18th century it was noted that there were more than 200 quarries between Swanage and Worth Matters. As for Winspit Quarry, its function was as a stone quarry, extracting Purbeck stone, for which this area was famous, and providing the building materials for many of the major buildings in London. Its advantage was, like all the other quarries on the coast in the area, the stone could be lowered directly onto the sea level platforms and transported to larger offshore vessels by barge. Although not safe and subject to weather conditions, the site had a fairly long time in use, as it started in and around the 18th century, all the way up until 1940, when, during World War II, it was used as a site for naval and air defences, even having some of the leftover stone that had been quarried transported away and used in building airfields. After the war, it was open to the public, and the site became a prime set location for mostly sci-fi films and TV, from the classic Doctor Who all the way through to Star Wars. Either way, what's left has proved a safe haven for bat conservation and other rare and special elements of nature, and it's well worth a visit should you be in the area. Welcome to Winspit Quarry, and nobody's around. It'd be funny if there was people camping in there, but oh wow, it just takes your breath away, and the sea, it's just, oh, on days like this you can sort of think to yourself, God, this is so beautiful, but you can imagine on a really rough day when it's thunder and lightning that it probably wouldn't be the best place to sort of be. But oh, this is special. This really is something special. So I just want to sort of say before we start, the point is today is that we concentrate really on the quarry, and obviously its history. Obviously there's loads and loads of other quarries and caves and everything else that I'm sure some of you watching may have camped at. But today we just want to concentrate on this actual section of what we would refer to as the Winspit Quarry. Obviously you've got the dancing ledge. It's, you know, you've got, there's a lot of caves and there's a lot of sort of quarrying, but it's not unfamiliar to what you're looking at here, and it is just beautiful. So I think what we should do is we should start off with these, which are the first thing that you're greeted with, which are these amazing quarry buildings really, and they're just although there's not many, it's amazing to still see these. And look at this, former chimney, look at that. And then you can see the beam frames for where obviously there would have been a second level. Isn't that special? Oh, it's just the best. Like I said, this was on my bucket list for a very, very long time. I'm here. It's better than I expected. So I want to see, we'll see how well we sort of document this today. Obviously there's loads and loads of people who come here, and the irony is that this place is a strange place because really it's not just explorers who come here. You've got rock climbers, people who camp out. I'm sure there's people in there, wouldn't be surprised. Yes, you've got a variety of different people who come and explore these. Not just pure explorers, if that makes sense. So yeah, these are former buildings. Wow. Truly special. So, what I'm thinking is, we're going to start at the furthest point here, on this side, and then we'll sort of weave in and out. So you get an idea of just this area. Like I said, there's a lot more further along this ridge, but we really just want to concentrate on the actual quarrying section of Winspit. I hope you know what I mean by that. It's quite nice actually, when you see some photos, you do see people camping out on the remote ones. And obviously the famous one on Winspit, the one at the top, and again you see these rock climbers come here, and it's crazy to sort of think that I've had to come here early because I'm desperately afraid that I'd see people, and yet the irony was there's a couple of people camping just down the bottom there. So yeah, I didn't get away with it totally. this is our first. You could class this one's a cave, but obviously it's not. It's a man-made cave, really. But you know, it's a quarry thing, isn't it? But this is our first one that we encounter, and it's the beautiful colours that this stone provides. The greens, the lime greens, the greys, the blues, the turquoise. It's a beautiful collapse of colours. Oh, I'm being told off by the birds, I think. Just proves how abundant nature is. However, cans of energy drink and Pringles and everything else would suggest otherwise. Like I said, it is a place where people do camp. But to think that this is just a small section of what it remains is incredible, really. And I'm very glad I've brought the right torch with me today. But you can see why it's perfect for movie sets. It's just got this amazing colour scheme. The huge stones that are here. I mean, it's, you know, as quarries go, this has got to be easily one of the best ones. I mean, it really has. People's graffiti there. Wow, truly special. Really is. Right, so let's into pretty much the main section of the quarry. So come on, let's have a look. See fire pits. It is just huge. Everything about it symbolising this long lost industry that would, like I said, you know, what I mentioned in the history lesson, at one point would have been a thriving part of this area's history, really, and its quarrying and it's everything that it's associated with, really. There is some moisture and dampness coming through, but it's, when you look back and you see these pillars that are holding up all this rock that you see. You know, there are collapses that have happened, so even though it's full of tourists and everything else, it is still a potentially unstable place. Look at that. What an amazing piece of history. Looks like pulley ropes, don't they? You can see there's a notch for what would have been probably a secondary one. Or it could have been the original pulley hold in there. Amazing. There's no atmosphere in here. I wouldn't sort of say that, you know, there's a sort of strangeness about it. Probably the strangeness is if you see people, when you see people. Wow. The irony is that I came here very early, as I sort of said. It's about it's about 7 now, and yet there are people here. They've sort of like come out of the caves. They've wandered. Amazing. when you come to this section really would be sort of like the sort of what you'd expect from a mining section, really. It's got that. Look at the size of them. These stone boulders. They're mega huge. So impressive to see the scale of this. And to think this is probably the best one in the link on the coastline here. I mean, they are huge. Wow. Right, time to enter another section. Wow, oh wow. This is crazy, this is so cool. The fact that you, the general public, can explore this. This is brilliant. It's literally like a labyrinth, but a very small one. Look at that. It's amazing when you look at the sort of sections of stone that are trying to hold this roof up, and I suppose it's one of these times when you don't really want to look up when you see the amount of cracks that are there, and you've seen the amount of rubble and debris that's here. There's a chink of light in there. Wow. Yeah, look at that. That is beautiful. It's strange, it's a collapse. If you carried on walking around, you'd get to that. But really, when you're here, you don't need to. It's absolutely amazing. Sorry, you can use the amazing counter today. How many times did Dan say amazing in the video? Got these little tea candles. The strange thing is, you don't blame people for doing it. It's just, it's funny, you shine a torch and you see these little silver blobs. Well, these candles are. It's amazing. All these people that have come here and God knows what. We don't want to speculate that, do we? We want to assume that it's a lovely time that they had here. I think the strange thing is, it's because it's only like a mile's walk. It doesn't feel that remote. I don't get that sense of feeling out of the way. Maybe that's just me, You can't argue with how special this is, though. You know, I mean, it is a tourist attraction, but it's one that is so easy to access. That's what makes it really special. We can all come here, we can all check this out. And like I said, you should thoroughly recommend that you should do it. Look at that. It's the way it stands out. It's so strange. I don't think you can ever do this place justice when you explore it. It's definitely a place I'd recommend if you had friends that you come here and, you know, you make a day of it. You can obviously walk across the rest. I'm not doing that today, obviously, so this is really my adventure for today, along with a few other places in the area, but not to do with the quarrying. It's just so crazy, isn't it? There are mines and there are places that I've been to that are obviously way less accessible than this. And yet, this is one of the ones that I've had the most fun about. Now, how does that work? Maybe because it's easy, maybe because it's sort of less stress-free. You don't feel like you're sort of... It's a stress-free type of explore. Look at that. That is just so special. Got a few more to go, everybody, so it's not the end. Not yet, anyway. Can you imagine these barges sailing up here and all these cranes and everything, that pulleys that would have been above? It must have been such an amazing spectacle. Oh, it's beautiful. I think there's a tent over there, which I can see. Yes, I can. Somebody's been camping over there as well. Well, they still are camping. Should we go... Let's go back in. I think it's probably the best option. We'll go back in, have a look to our left. Sorry if there's a bit of wind that's coming out. Look at this. So that's the exit for the, well, the light that we saw. But we need to walk round now. It really is just beautiful. And the good thing is, there's not that much litter under the circumstances, which I'm grateful for. See, again, I've just looked up. And you kind of say to yourself, you shouldn't really look up, because you think to yourself, any one of them that could fall on you, well, it's instant death, isn't it? What a way to go. A huge stone boulder just completely decapitated him. Oh, crazy. Right, so we've sort of made it to the far end now. Oh, look all the graffitis. Loads of graffiti on this side. I suppose the trick is not to get too close to the edge, however today I'm feeling adventurous. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. What a place for people to explore, really is. This Purbeck stone. It's just brilliant. So this is what we were looking at from that opposite end. Again, smaller little caverns, shelves of quarrying, covered in... It's amazing, these ones have got full of graffiti on this bit here. You can imagine probably it's quite a nice little beauty spot for people. Just have a look out on the view, so you can understand why. Look at that. I won't put my name down, because I'd like to think that in the future I'll come back to this place and maybe I'll come back with someone special. Who knows? I'm a dreamer, I'm allowed to dream. But yeah, it's just oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. So one final thing that I noticed when I came out, and I thought, you know what, if I walk back I'll show you it. Obviously this area was used in World War II. Now this says Lawrence, I think, but it says the Hants Regiment, which be interesting. I don't know, that could have been, I mean, that sounds like it could be, couldn't it? 19 something that says on it as well, all part of the same writing. And one of those bits of graffiti that you blink and you'll miss. R.E. Lawrence, I think that says. 9th Hampshire Regiment, 23rd Infantry, probably. No, it can't be. 23rd something. 19. Yeah, not sure about that. It's amazing, if you're blinking you'll miss some graffiti here of the names and the dates, because there probably could have been people from World War II who were around in this area even earlier than that. Of course, we sort of neglect the fact that maybe some of the workers probably even did some. Oh wow, honestly, spectacular. Well, as I head out of Winspit Quarry proper, got one final thing to show you. Come on. Okay, so I'll draw my bag. The final thing I want to show you is, if you can see it, more importantly, so we're near the entrance of Winspit, and down there, actually, you know, you can see it, there are some tracks there which would have probably been for a crane or a pulley. Can you see that, finger of doom? And then can you see this like rectangular or square, depending on, there's two of them here. They're almost like docks and bays, and that is, I think, where the ships would have come in. In fact, actually, there's another one, but that's submerged. You can't see that too clearly. There's a defining cut there. But these ones come quite far inland. And these would have been the barges that would have sailed right up into the quarry. And then obviously they would have unloaded the stone onto them. And that in itself, I think, is a brilliant thing to cap off Winspit Quarry, just seeing literally where these ships would have come into. And obviously, like I said, that must be for the rail, for the crane, I would assume. It's amazing how time and weather has completely eroded most of what you can see. But I think these were the slipways for like the natural, so the ships could come in closer, from what I remember. There's another little tram section there as well. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to end. Like I said, we can carry on and we can look and we can keep scouting out more and more bits of quarrying. But for today, I think we've done a good job of documenting that. What do you think? As I leave my rucksack on the edge of a cliff. In the immortal words of Phoenix history, thank you so much for coming along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed it, and I really hope that this comes out well in the camera. Hopefully not too much wind or anything else like that. I'm going to enjoy this one. I'm going to chill out now, and I'm just going to hear the sound of nature and the birds, as I sort of mentioned in my history lesson, and really just appreciate how special this place is. It will never be the biggest place that you'll ever see when it comes to quarrying, and it will never be the most underground place that you've ever seen, but it is an accessible place, and it's accessible for all, and that's what makes it special. And whatever history is left here is still just as important, and it should never be forgotten. So yeah, as we recap, looking through all our quarrying sections, there you go. The only one that we didn't do was the elevated one, but that's for good reason. Anyway, as I stand here about to chill out for the rest of the evening, well, morning, God, I'll say goodbye, take care, look after yourselves, in the immortal words of Phoenix history, because history matters. And it really does, doesn't it, on this? Come on now. Feel free to spread the word of the channel. If you want to dislike it, go for it. If you want to like it, more importantly, do that as well. Like I said, all the new subscribers I get just makes me more positive and motivated to keep this channel running. And obviously without your love and support, it wouldn't have been possible in the first place. So thank you so much, and take care, and I'll see you all very soon, because history matters. Come on then. Woo, kapow. Oh yeah, I thought I'd just show you some bonus footage really. I wanted to go down to the slipway, but the tide is sort of it's still sort of coming in. So I thought, do you know what? I've already shown you it. We don't really need to go down there. You can see it from where I was. But I will take you to this. So this is on the opposite side of the slope. And like I said, this is really just a highlight. There are lots and lots of these quarrying sections still here. Obviously this is quite shallow, and some of them are being used for bat habitation. You can see people going to want to be camping there. There's actually somebody in a tent around the corner, which you probably saw in the video. And that says 1903 on it, HN. See, this is another one. This just proves that they sort of extend away from the actual enclave of Winspit Quarry. I'm being told off by the blackbirds. The thing is, it's very early in the morning, so they're going to probably be wanting to get their breakfast. But yeah, this is just a bit of bonus footage really, just to show you the extent and really what to look out for. You know, they're labelled as caves really, but if you look, actually funny enough, what's interesting, on the AOS maps, if you look at them, they're labelled as caves. But obviously we know that they're mining, so they're man-made. Not that caves aren't necessarily man-made, but you get what I'm trying to say. So that's the corner of Winspit over there. We'll just take you, we might as well make the most of it today. Like I said, it's just to give you an example of what's here, and the fact that you could literally spend all day just on this one section. However, for me, like I said today, that's not going to happen. I'd rather come with somebody else, to be honest. Yeah, look at that. And it goes on and on and on. Yeah, well. So you go, I thought I'd just show you an extra one just to sort of see, to show you, to take you to the opposite side so you get to see it. But they're all pretty much the same. And I think once you've seen one, you sort of have seen most of them. And like I said, those ones are the best. So yeah, there you go, bonus footage. See ya.